finishing today, hopefully. Been a nice stretch. Everyone has to remember to say Berachos at the top before we start the learning. Nun Zayin on the base. Back, Ariel. 57. The first word of the line is what is. Okay, very good. Excellent. Before the white lines, we said, I think with Shira, if you see Shira Shirim in your dream, said if you see Shira Shirim in your dream, it's a great, it's a very holy sefer, and it's sign of Chassidut. It's a sign you're headed to it. You're headed to the right place. You're going to be very. And you know, Chassidut, it comes from is the idea of Chesed, doing above and beyond what you're called for. Very. You see the book. You see a book, Shir HaShirim, in your dream. Okay, now Kehelet. If you see the book of Kehelet, which was written by, said something was if you see Shlomo in your dream, Shlomo, it's a sign that you're going to have wisdom. You're going to acquire great wisdom. And remember, how does a person become wise? It takes time, it takes effort, it takes work, and you'll be very successful. That you will get wise. Hashem gifts people. So it's a sign. If you see the Sefer Kehelet, it's a sign that you're going to look forward to wisdom, to become very smart. Kinut, if you see, that's what was written by Yirmiyah. Kinut is Eicha, Megillat Eicha, which discusses the destruction of the Dash. That's a bad sign. Yidag min haparaniyot. You should worry, should be concerned, chas v'shalom, something bad happening to you. And again, what does it mean to be? Don't worry, do something about it. You know, repent, shape up. And therefore, meaning you have to be, and therefore you have to take action. Now, Haroya Megillat Esther. What if you see Megillat Esther in your dream? Beautiful. You have a nice scroll and you have a nice Megillat. You have what we're up to? Yeah, very good. If you see Megillat Esther in your dream, it's a sign that a miracle is going to happen to you. As we know, Megillat Esther is Jewish people. So therefore, if you see Megillat Esther in your dream, it's a that a miracle will be happening to you. The menorah is a sign of Torah. The Gemara said before, if you see the menorah in your dream, I don't know if it means to see menorah during the time of Hanukkah, because since there's so much on your head, indicates something specific if you dream about it, even though I would say it's still a great sign, because the fact that if you could dream about it, indicate that it's part of you. That's something that you really focus on. But generally, throughout the year, if you see a menorah in your dream, the Gemara says it's a sign of going to become great, and the light of the Torah will come to you. But the menorah represents, and because why they wanted us to forget Torah, Hashem made a miracle, and the mitzvah represents Torah, which is the menorah. Now, Shlosha. You see three rabbis in your dreams. So this rabbi and not that rabbi, but each of these rabbis were known for certain things, and that will be a sign for you in the future. If you say Haroya Rebbe, the one who compiled the Mishnah. So if you see him in your dream, it's a sign. It's a sign you're going to become very great in wisdom. If you see Rabbi Azariah, Elazar ben Azariah was also one of the great rabbis. You know, he was the one who took at 18, right? You remember that famous story that he grew a beard overnight. It looked like an old man. There was a concern that people will not respect him if he's going to be the leader at 18. So he's very wealthy. So it's a sign, Yisapel Ashirut. It's that Hashem is going to give you, it's going to give you wealth. And that's if you see Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha. If you see Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha, so Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha was one of the great rabbis who was one of the 10 people that Asara Hurugei Malchut. When the Romans, 10 great rabbis. Rabbi Akiva is very famous when they combed his skin, and so Rabbi Akiva was one of them. Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha was also the 10 great rabbis that the Romans, and they didn't just kill them. They did it, in a very horrific ways that but says they actually skinned his scalp, killed him. That's how they, while he was alive, they skinned his scalp. So it's very terrible. So that's a sign of Yidak Mena Paranio. It's a sign. It's a bad sign, because since he's connected, he's associated with punishment that happened to him. So therefore, it's a bad sign, and therefore we got to go ahead and take it to heart, and hopefully that will remove the tshuva tefillah and esroag zera. So therefore, that will remove that. Shlosha talmidei chachamim hey. There are 3 chachamim regarding dreams. You see, there were rabbis that got the official smicha, process, and then these rabbis, some say they're not called rebbe. They don't have the title of rabbi. Of course, they're rabbis, but they don't have official ordination. There was official ordination that went from Moshe to Yeshua, certain type of ordination. So therefore, but these are great scholars. So Haroya is Ben Azai. You see Ben Azai in the dream. Ben Azai was a very pious, was known. Certain rabbis are known for certain things, associated for certain things, and he was known for being this type of chassid. When you see a chassid today, when we see the person, he's called. The reason why he's called a chassid is because things that are not necessary for him. It does more than what's necessary. For instance, goes to the mikveh every day. 7 days a week they go to the mikveh. To the mikveh 7 days a week. It's not necessary. It's above and beyond. That's what chassid. But when the Gemara refers to someone as a chassid, referring to the chassid of the Mesilat Yesharim. So the Sharm says, if you become, then you become a chassid. It's different levels until you mastered everything you need, and then you go up to you're taking another level of a chassid, above and beyond. Even though the people are called chassidim today in the world, we call the Hasidic community, but they're not. Then hopefully they will become the chassid of. But the chassid of the Gemara is a total. Meaning, you have a 13-year-old kid. He's called chassid, right? He has pace, but that's not the chassid of the Gemara. To reach the chassid of the Gemara is a much higher. Right. So when Rashi Hashem talks about chassid, he's talking about master being a tzaddik, and now it's the next level. So the Gemara talks about looking forward to being a chassid. It's referring to reaching level. You see what I'm saying? Above and beyond, a very high level. That's if you see Ben Azai, because he was known for that. The Gemara continues. But if you see Zoma, Ben Zoma was known as the Chacham. Certain rabbis are known things. Certain rabbis, such a holy rabbi. Certain rabbis are known because their wisdom is amazing. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things. So this rabbi is wisdom, Ben Zoma. So if you see Ben Zoma in your dream, it's Sapel Chachma. It's a grind. You should look forward to being very, very wise. Magic story. There was a rabbi that he was. His name was Elisha ben Avua, and he went off to Derech. The day a rabbi, the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, the person becomes a rabbi doesn't mean that the Yetzer Hara doesn't exist anymore. Even it's stronger. and he won. He won the battle, and he defeated this Elisha ben Avua, and he went sour. So if somebody sees person, we don't even want to refer to him as by his name. The Gemara put Ached, strange, something strange. You see the Ached, the other person, in his dream. It's this rabbi who was turned sour. That's why the Mishnah, that's why it says a Pirkei Avot, never be overly confident in yourself. People should never think, Torah, I keep mitzvahs, I'm never going to go, I can let my guard down. Never let your guard, because you never know, because person could go sour. And he's Elisha ben Avua in his dream, Yidag min haparoniyot. He has to worry about punishment, because Avua was someone who obviously is going to be punished for all his that he did, that the way he acted, that he lost his he lost most probably, I presume he lost his olam haba, and a bad sign to see a person like Elisha ben Avua. I know there's discussion about it, but he definitely, it's a very bad, definitely a bad sign. Okay. Kol mini chayot yafot v'chalom. You see wild animals in your dream. We said wild animals, their parnasa is they find food. They have wherever they go. God provides for the animals wherever they are. So if you see animals in your dream, non-domesticated animals, it's a good sign. It's not a bad sign. You see what we'll call a ram or other type of animals in your dream that are not domesticated. You go ahead and it's a good sign. Chutz min apil v'hakof. But if there's certain animals that are very unusual type of animals, so something unusual, not the norm, that's not a good sign. Something is not the norm. Good morning, Morris. So it's not a good sign. And an elephant is something not the norm. They look very differently. A monkey also has some resemblance of a person. Has that look of a person a little bit. Something that's it's not the normal type of animal. Something unique, right? People are like, I want to go see the monkey. For the monkey, something unique about the monkey, something different about the monkey that stands out. Kipud, and the kipud is also, they translate the kipud. Rashi says the kipud is it's a type of animal that's similar to the monkey. It has a long tail. Something that's unusual. You saw something unusual in the dream. You see things that are normal, that's a good sign. That's not normal, unusual, it's a bad sign in the dream. So the Gemara says, what if you see an elephant and you're not, if you see it in a dream, pela nasalo. The word peel, the word to describe elephant has the same similar sound as pella. Pella. So the rabbi said, if you see an elephant in your dream, it's a very good sign. You say that it's a bad sign. So the Gemara says, if the elephant has a saddle, it's a saddle that's more domesticated, that's a sign. Or some say it has a bit, they're able to have its reins, they're able to hold it with a string, that's a good sign. But if you hodalo masareg, if it doesn't have a saddle or it doesn't have on it, that's not a good sign. So that's a story with you call a 911, they ask you, what did you see? What was he wearing? To see what the elephant was. The elephant wearing the saddle, not wearing the saddle, that's a positive and not a positive sign. So then the Gemara says, what about if you see metal tools in your dream. What is that? Kol mini mat, all mateches, all types of metal tools that you see in a dream. It's very positive. If you see them in your dream, chutz mimar kadom. If you see like a shovel or a pestle or kadom, kadom is an axe. So these type of tools, if you see them in your dream, these tools, they have, Rashi says, they the type of things they have ability to destroy, to break things, and these are type of that we say are with their blades, and these are not a good metal, the shovel in your dream. The or axe, you can understand an axe, very destructive type of, I mean, it chops down trees, it breaks, so that's something that's not a good sign. The Gemara says, only if you see the tool with the handle that it's ready to break things, that's a bad sign. But if you see without the handle, it's not a bad sign. If you see fruits, if you see all different types, now we had Gemaras earlier that spoke about olives and all different in you see pomegranates in the dream, it's a very good sign because of the pomegranate has all these different something. And now he's making a general statement. All fruits. Dream is a good sign. Chutz mipage tomorrow. Except you see dates that are unripened. You know, they didn't stay in, they didn't they came off too early, they didn't ripe properly. Oh, and it seems that there's no benefit, no nutritional benefit from these dates. So if there's no, so therefore it's not a good sign. That's the way thing. You're not going to have something not positive will happen in a person's life. That's a good sign to these type of dates. So the Gemara says, "Kol mina yurokot." All different types of vegetables are a good sign. See a vegetable in your dream, it's a good sign. Except the rashi lefatot, the top of the turnip. It's very thick. It resembles like the police club that you hit with in the old days that they used to have the thickness of a club, like a bat, similar to a bat, a baseball bat. That's a sign of hitting, of a blow. Therefore, that's not a good. So the Gemara says, what do you mean? Rav says, Rav says, I did not become wealthy until I head of a turnip. So the head of the turnip was a good sign. Meaning, Rav, and in the dream, he saw the head of a turnip, and afterwards he connected that with him becoming successful, that it was a sign of his future that Hashem was going to provide to him. Well, so the Gemara says, Ki chaza b'kanaya chaza. When he saw them, so if you see the turnip when it's still in the ground, it's not considered it's not considered like a bat, but it's attached to the ground. Only if a turnip, the head of it is from the ground, that has that resemblance. Then we look at it like it looks like a baseball, looks like the club of a cap, and there a stick of a cap, and therefore that's a sign that then it will be a negative sign. Now the Gemara says, Kol mini tzivonim, all different of colors. If you see colors in your dream, they're beautiful signs. Chutz min atchelas. The tchelas, even though we know the chelet, to put chelet, we say in the tzitzit, al kafe v'dim, kanaf seal the chelet. You have a mitzvah of putting the chelet on your tzitzit, and you see some people wearing chelet, and there's a question, the prophet or not. That's why a lot of people are not wearing chelet today, because we've lost the tradition of what is the chelet, right? It's from a certain comes from the sea, fish that gives off a certain color, and therefore many say we lost the tradition of no chelet, therefore we don't wear the chelet. Others say they found it, and therefore that's some people that buy tchelet. Now you fulfill the mitzvah of tzitzit without the tchelet. There's the mitzvah of tzitzit, which if you don't have tchelet, you still get the mitzvah of tzitzit. So everyone's mitzvah of tzitzit, but the question of getting the mitzvah of tchelet, the Torah says, let's not tzitzit on the tzitzit. You should put tchelet. That's the question. Have that opportunity today or not? So most people do not wear tchelet. If you see, so tchelet is usually a good sign. Yes, tchelet and the idea of tchelet. Why does that idea behind tchelet? So Rashi says, if you wear tchelet, the color of tchelet is similar to of the ocean. The ocean, if you think of the heaven, is similar to, it's directly under the heavens, and then the heavens where Hashem is, the kisei kavod. But the kisei kavod, the idea of the tchelet was to go ahead and remind you that there's certain things could connect you to, and it's also there's a process. It's not like you just it takes steps. You take a color similar to the ocean, it's similar to the sky, similar color of the sky, and then that's how you get to remember. But here the Gemara says it's not the color also of tchelet. Sometimes that a person has if a person is sick, his complexion, which has resemblance of the tchelet color. Therefore, if you see tchelet of sickness, that's what the Gemara. Even though if we said that we just made a whole that points to how tchelet is a great thing, but also reflects sickness, and therefore, if you see tchelet, it's a sign that a person might get. So that's what the Gemara says. All colors are a good color, but except of tchelet. Kol mine ofot yofin lechalom. All types of birds are very good. If you see these birds in your dream, they're a very good sign to see the birds in your dream. All types of birds. There's many. I think the Torah lists 24 birds that are not kosher. I mean, it's 20 birds. I mean, it's not only these 24 birds that the Torah lists. They have all these subcategories, that family of that bird, but all the rest of the birds are on the world will be kosher. It's only 4, and that the Torah lists that are not kosher. We spoke about a chassid before. One of the birds that are not kosher is called the chassid. And Rashi says the chassida bird is called chassida because it does kindness with its friends. So the question is it its friends? So it should be a kosher bird. So one of the Bali Musa say the problem is it only does kindness with its friends. That's why it's not kosher. When someone is only, they only helping their friends.
Which bird, Rabbi?
Other people. That's just an interesting idea. That's called a chassida chesed.
Oh.
We mentioned before. Yes.
Also, peacock. For some levels, some peacocks are kosher and some peacocks are not kosher.
All the birds, we have to have a tradition to know which ones are kosher and which ones are not kosher.
Yeah, so the peacock with the black legs are not kosher for some reason. They don't really give too much explanation why, but that's what it says.
Okay. So now all birds are a good sign except Chutzmin Karya, Kipupa, Papari. Now, one of these birds. So one definitely Rashi says the Kipupa is an owl. Cheeks. The owl, he describes it has like cheeks like a person, and that's not normal. The fact that an animal has that resemblance of a person, that's something that therefore that's not a good sign of if you see an owl in your dream. So Rashi translates Karya and Kipupa as types of owl.
What about dinosaurs?
What?
What about dinosaurs?
Okay, it's a good question. I don't I mean, people. I mean, the Gemara, the Torah talks about these big fish. But I presume people haven't been dreaming too much. Only now with Walt Disney dreaming about dinosaurs. But it could be for many years people weren't thinking about that because the dinosaurs most probably got. I presume maybe in the Mabul, maybe maybe they got or sometime. Who knows what happened to the dinosaurs? Who knows what happened with the dinosaurs? Now, so the Gemara says. So if you see a karyuk of people, these things, it's normal. Therefore, so it's not a good sign. So therefore, there are three things that enter into the and the haguf nene mehem. If it ain't haguf nene mehem, and the body does not really get real benefit, doesn't really give proper nutrition to the body. The Gemara says that it says they translate cherries as one of them. Gudgonios. Kafniot are dates, not good dates. They don't do anything for the body. Rashi says bad dates. And pagi dates that are not ripened. All those things, they're not, people eat them, and you don't really have any real value for those foods that come to the person's body. So one of the commentaries explain, if a person wants something, these are type of things a person wants to eat in order to satiate his hunger, but he doesn't really want to have real benefits. It's temporary. I feel full from it, but it's not really doing anything for me. These are foods that will do much for you. The Gemara says, "Shlosha ein nichnasim leguf." The three things that they don't enter the body has a lot of pleasure from. The Gemara says, if you use oils on your body, and you didn't eat these things, shower, a bath. These are things that they don't enter the body, but the body has great pleasure from, and also tashmish. Also, the Gemara is having relations, a husband and a wife. So the Gemara says shlosha me'ein olam haba. That's interesting. How does we say when the talks about relations of a husband and a wife? What is the word that's used? Tashmish. Tashmish means to use using the bed. It doesn't say the act, doesn't call the act by its name. We use the bed because we are very modest. The Gemara teaches us, and we found from the Torah says when Torah wants to refer to a husband and a wife, he knew his wife. He knew his wife. That's what the Torah says. So it would seem to me that today the Torah is teaching things. Say use certain words that they should not really. It's not a certain words. It's not a modest thing to say things so open, meaning in the vocabulary spelled sex. That word would see it's not a modest word to use because it's too much saying the act, it's calling by a specific name. And therefore, people, I think, listen, in my generation, I sound like an old man. That wasn't a word that we used. That wasn't a word that only became common in the last 25 years. Am I correct in that? Agree with me or not? And it's a lack of modesty that the fact that this word is used, like because it's not supposed to be. We see from the Gemara, if you see from the Torah, you have to talk in a certain fashion, and that's how the Gemara refers to it as tashmish. It's called tashmish hamita, the use of the bed. That's what it's called. Okay. Shlosha me'ein olam haba. Now the Gemara says there are three things in this world that is so much, it's so pleasurable that it has a resemblance of olam haba. It's an amazing thing, and obviously has a resemblance of olam haba. It's a very positive thing. It's very interesting. You'll see the three on the list, and you'll see what it is. Elohim, Shabbat. The first thing that's lit is Shabbat. Shabbos, Shabbat is Me'ein Olam Haba. So that's what we have to realize. But again, Shabbos is only Me'ein Olam Haba. I presume only the people who keep the Shabbat properly and have the proper experience of Shabbat is it really Me'ein Olam Haba. It could be Shabbat is here, but if people don't keep the Shabbat properly, I don't think they're going to feel the pleasure of the Shabbat. You know what it's supposed to give to the person. The second thing is Shemesh, the sun, going out in the sun. You know, every people go out to the sun. People go to Florida, they go out and they enjoy the sun. It's a great pleasure that people have, and the Gemara recognizes it's a great pleasure and says it has a resemblance of you should know it has a taste. It's like a taste of what Olam Haba is going to be like. Tashmish, and also Tashmish. What is going to identify what is Tashmish referring to? Tashmish demai. What kind of Tashmish are you referring to? Ilema Tashmish Hamita. Are you going to see referring to husband with his wife when they have relations? Is that what we're referring to? So the Gemara says the fact that a person when they have relations, they get a little weaker, right? Relations, you give your strength when you're using some of your strength, and you become a little weaker. That's what it says. If a person overdoes relations, they become old. They become old fast when they overdo the relations. It weakens the body. Hamichash chachish. Since it weakens the body, we're not going to classify it as something that's similar to Olam Haba when it has that negative aspect of it, that there's a physical, weakness as a result of the relations. So the Gemara says, "Ela tashmish nekavim." When a person moves his bowels, there's great pleasure that a person has, and therefore the Gemara says that's what we're saying has some similarity. You had a pleasure. You think about pleasure. You had that pleasure. Remember, the pleasure in the next world, in Olam Haba, is so much greater than any pleasure you can have in this world. So maybe that's why Hashem gave us such pleasures, that you have a pleasure going out in the sun, and you get a picture of what Olam Haba is going to be like. So people think, it's paradise. Right? I'm out in the sun. I'm taking it, whatever it is. But it's for us to feel what real paradise is going to be. And this is just a little taste, and therefore we should make sure we live our lives properly, that we will reach and get the proper Olam Haba, the proper next world. Shlosha mishivan daitim shel adam. There are three things. If a person is worried, some people get worried, nervous, that they are stressed. There is stress. What are the three things that will help the person's stress? Ve'elahein, kol. Music. How do you like that? The Gemara says music. Music is something that will calm the person. People are not in a good mood. They feel nervous about things. But let's get some music on. Like Shabbat afternoon, Friday afternoon. Sometimes there's a lot going on in the house. A lot has to be done. Some people feel a little. Sometimes I got to do this. I got to do that. Get on some music. Create a nice atmosphere. We always say Friday afternoon. We like to put on music in my home, just to create a nice atmosphere, because there's a lot. When a lot is going on, people could children could sometimes get a little. Not only children, maybe adults too, get a little. Whatever it is. So you put on some nice music that helps. So it really helps keep the proper people in the right spirit who might be a little stressed. No one should ever feel the busyness of getting ready for Shabbos as a stress. But children sometimes, they get a little whatever. Kol umare. Also looking at nice things, nice pictures, right? If a person, feels a little stressed, take out an album. Take out an album, your wedding album. Take out something that will help you, put you into a good mood. Seeing certain things that are, that they'll bring you pleasure. Whether it's an album, whether someone has art or someone, whatever it is, they could lift your spirits. That's looking at certain things, and reach. So here the Gemara talks about reach, but we got to be careful when we explain reach. Because reach in the old days was referring to you smell something samim, right? Today the problem is people use reach, a different type of smell, to put them in this. They overdo the reach. You understand? Yes, the Gemara says it helps put a person into a proper, but it has to be a proper reach, and therefore people are overdoing it. What? Non-cannabis reach, exactly. So that's now it bothered me. I passed by near the Barclays Center, a vitamin store, and what is pretty much the main advertisement on the store, in a vitamin store, is cannabis. We have cannabis. You would think that's the advertisement on a vitamin store. Just a little funny to me, but that's what's happening in the generation today. Now, so the Gemara says Shlosha marchivan daita. Now, so the Gemara Shlosha marchivan daita shalada. So based on this Gemara, we have to have more music. People should have more music in their home. People should be playing music more in their home. Because the Gemara clearly says, if a person is now, hopefully people aren't stressed, that they need the music to take them out of the stress. But it's definitely a positive thing, and it definitely brings people into a proper mood. So we should have more music playing, also I say music, I mean proper music. There's all different types of music today. Proper music in one's house. Now, Shlosha Machivan Daita Shalada. And three things that even if you're in a proper mood, but it brings you to a different level, a higher level, a level of higher level. What is that? Elin Dirana. If a person has a nice house, nice apartment, you feel good. It gives you a good feeling. Doesn't mean you have to have something like overdo it. You know what I'm saying? But a nice house, a nice home helps to put a person in a person feels good. Person gives him a good feeling. The Ishana, having a nice wife, a very good wife, puts you constantly in that framework, puts you in that good mood. I mean, not just you're above, you're a step above. V'kelim na'im, if you have nice furnishings, these will go ahead and also put you into a proper you feel good about it. But I think some people have taken it to a total different level, overdone it. But that's what the Gemara says. What? No, now we're finished with dreams. These are in general in life. The Gemara is telling us, the importance of, sometimes you want, if you live in an apartment, it looks proper, you have nice furnishings, that helps you feel, gives you put you in a better state. Okay, I want to wish everyone a great day, a happy Hanukkah. To be continued tomorrow. We should have a beautiful davening now.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you very much, Yosef. Thank everybody for being here. Nice crowd. Avi, we welcome Avi back. Back and better than ever. We also say better late than never, Avi.